Hello everybody. Today's reading is in two parts. The first part is Megsy and Howie's response to the British press and others saying that Megsy is a Poundland Diana. Dollar Tree die for you guys in America, or is it Dollar Store? I think, is it both? Dollar Store die. So we're going to have a look into how Howie and Megsy's response to that is. We're also going to be looking into their feelings about what's going on in LA. The LA riots are going on at the moment. There's some rioting over there. And we all know that Megsy and Harry want to be in with the Newsom. So we're going to look into that too. But first off, we're going to just have a quick read around their response. The response. See, that just felt the response to Meghan's being compared to Diana, but a cheap Poundland version of Diana. So let's have a shuffle of the cards. Let's see what we end up with. I know the devil already fell out, but that's almost just like the universe going comedy timing. So how is Meghan feeling about being mocked about the pound store Diana? Is this just a game? Does she want it? Does she want those words out there? 10 of Pentacles is in reverse. Okay, so she's feeling very much like an outsider. She doesn't feel like she fits in. She's doing this in a way to get at the royal family. Now, the 10 of Pentacles is a rich, very rich, protected, very benevolent even family. And this is her on the outside of that. She wants to feel that she's part of something, part of the royal family, if you will. But she's no more part of the royal family than really Wallace Simpson was at this moment in time. She's definitely not part of the day-to-day, and she's definitely not close to them. So that 10 of Pentacles in reverse, there is something here that is shady to the royals, and if it's always shady to the royals, it's somehow beneficial to her. I would have thought it would be more. Okay, what's crossing over is the Chariot in reverse. Now, the Chariot is astrologically linked to sun sign Cancer, and Prince William is sun sign Cancer, but so is Diana. When she walked this mortal coil, Diana was sun sign Cancer. So let me just pull another card just to clarify who that is. The 3 of Wands crossing over. Disruption. I think she's trying to get at William. She's working with some others. She's broadened her horizons, and the person she's aiming at is, I would say if they were in spirit, I would get a completely different card, but this is William. This is somebody who she's looking out overseas at. So there's a lot of that. The Page of Wands is in reverse. So above the situation, she looks entitled, she looks angry, she looks thirsty for attention, she looks all of those things. And underneath, she's not receptive. It's a mixed bag. Though she likes the Diana comparison, if you will, and it plays into her mind so much, adding the Poundland or Dollar Tree or Walmart, whatever you want to call her, version of Diana to her, she doesn't like that. It offends her, calling her cheap. One thing to Megsy will be offended, guys, if you call her stupid, if you call her bullying, if you call her cheap and inauthentic. She will be offended by all of that, and she will really take it personally as well. She's not accepting the complete comparison, but she doesn't like the Poundland version of it. The 7 of Pentacles is in reverse there. She has got no control over how she structures things. Yeah, she's a very impulse-led person. Everything she can do, everything everyone else does, she can do better. If you look at her announcement that she wants to get into hospitality, she's the type of person who will go to a hotel just the once and say, I love this hotel, but I could run it better. And it, just from being in a hotel, she thinks she has the experience to run a hotel, just being a hotel guest. She's that kind of entitled, you know? So that Seven of Pentacles in reverse, she's not very good. She goes on whims. Like the scam jam has slid off into the distance like some kind of slimy horror villain, you know. She's not restocking that because you sold 6 jars and you gave away 20, you know. So it's just like, you know, these global domination plans. There's the Five of Cups, regret. Okay. We'll clarify for that. Three of Pentacles. It's going to be stuff comes out. We know she's not Diana. One of the things that you can really upset her about, though, is calling her an influencer. She hates it. She doesn't want to be seen as vapid. She doesn't want to be seen as a ripoff. She doesn't want to be seen as imitating anyone at this point, even though she actively tries to emulate Diana, yeah? She doesn't like it pointed out. She just wants people to subtly notice and acknowledge it and just accept that she is Diana incarnate, but will be more popular than Diana, and then move on. Five of Pentacles, what's surrounding her? She's still very much on the outside. You're not going to make Hollywood love her. Hollywood are kind of rejecting her. So she wants to give the impression that they're kind of like inside outsiders. So they're inside with like the people who marry, you know, Beyonce, Tyler Perry, Oprah Winfrey, blah, blah, blah. But they're actually on the outside of a lot of like what we would call talented people. You know, the people who aren't CEOs, or like people who are more than just their personality, people who are creative, you know, and they don't need their face on the project. They're just creative people, you know. That Five of Pentacles there, she's yeah, impatient and doesn't learn. She's going to keep doing this Diana shtick. And the Sun, got more kids coming up. We've got more kids' faces. This is her last bargaining chip. In fact, I said that back in 2022. Something like the children are going to be the last bargaining chip of it all. And she really is. She really is kind of like, I think that's where we'll get into it. The invisible children, recollections may vary how many they are, how they got here, blah, 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 blah. Now let's move on to Harry. How does Harry like being compared to Poundland Diana? Dollar store die. Let's have a look. Let's have a go. Let's have a see. Harry. Temperance is in reverse. Okay. Something isn't landing. He's got very mixed emotions about it. He's very kind of confused about the whole thing, you know? Doesn't seem to be clicking, doesn't seem to be flowing, doesn't seem to be healing. The Page of Swords is in reverse, crossing over. Oh, people are just being horrible to my wife. They're just being horrible to her. How dare they? It's all this, the gossip on the internet. It's the tweets, it's the posts, it's the Reddit, it's TikTok, it's journalists. They fuel this. They hate me. They can't. So he doesn't understand why people with the Temperance in reverse, he doesn't understand that people can't or won't buy into his triangulation with his beige wife and his mother. Yeah. There's the Queen of Cups in reverse there. It's Diana and the King of Coins. But don't ever be fooled. For Harry, Diana's legacy is all about Harry. It's less to do with his mother as a human being, more than his mother as an idea, you know? He's going to say that his mother's I feel like eventually when he writes Spare 14 or what drops the millionth truth bomb that's a non-event. I feel like we're going to be hearing some pushback about the Queen of Cups in reverse here. We're going to be hearing a lot of pushback about damaging his mother's legacy and using his mother to trash his wife, and you've all got unconscious bias, you horrible people, blah blah blah. He's going to do something like that. The Two of Wands is in reverse, a door closed. Now this door has been closed for a while, and I do believe that a lot of the reactions, a lot of things they're doing is because the royal family are grey rocking him. They're not, but, and I don't think there was ever a chance while Meghan was on the scene, or even Harry now, to be honest, of them going back to the royals. But what they did need from the royals to continue their drama was the royals responding. And the royals ain't going to respond. There's the Knight of Cups in reverse again. He's going to be in his feelings about his wife being called an influencer. He's going to look messy. He's definitely enraged. And they don't learn. He is enraged by the Diana comparisons and the dollar store die and all of that kind of stuff. He really doesn't like it. It's about him, though. It's more about him. But he's just going to lash out at it. How dare you say my wife isn't as perfect as my mother, and blah, 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 blah. All of the Freudian complexes you can have in a sentence, apply it to Harry right now. Because the dude is... the Hanged Man in reverse there doesn't learn, won't learn, and impatience is growing. The Four of Wands is there, and who have we got at the end? Then we've got the Devil. Anything to do with his mother, anything to do with his wife, he is gonna go absolutely stark raving crackers, you know. He is under control, but there's an element that he is very much being controlled. He's envious and, in my opinion, allegedly whatever, and he's deceitful, right? He's got himself lined up and in with some wrong-uns, put it that way, some dodgy people. He really has. They're controlling him, but I feel like Harry's narcissism and Harry's maladaptive behavior is actually going to ramp up. She's probably going to learn. He's probably learned in some kind of, maybe even a subconscious way, from his wife. Let's have a look. Moving that on. So they're not happy. It's about William and it's about Harry, and they aren't happy. She's peeved at it, but I think she's seething at so many different people and so many different things that it's just unreal, you know. So we're going to have a look at how Megsy is viewing the LA riots. So they're going to do anything to come up to that. Let's have a look. Okay, impatience, never learn. We're going to get a Uvalde moment here, I feel, because they haven't learned. The Seven of Swords in reverse, oppositional defiance disorder. This may be them being told to stay away from people, and or stay away from the subject. But this is definitely something that she's not necessarily wanting to heed to. So on the other note, they're being told, no, don't do it. Don't get involved. Don't say anything. Of course, the Chariot is in reverse above. And underneath, we have the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, Doris. Doris. What are you doing here? William's here. There's a Cancerian here. There's a isn't Markle Senior a Cancerian? I wonder if he's going to say something about her not responding or responding to it, or there's something going to come out from the Markles in the Philippines / Florida / Mexico, wherever they are now in the world. The Queen of Pentacles, though, in reverse. Is that Doris? What's Doris got to do with this? Didn't she make up that lie where she said she watched LA burn and stuff, and it turned out it was from a film when she was a young'un? You remember that? Remember that? Getting the Empress? Yeah, that's Doris. That is Doris. Her and her mother are kind of like plotting something here. Something with LA. Maybe Doris is going to do the legwork here. Okay. Ten of Swords in the back when it comes to her activism. So we had Uvalde and we also had the LA fires. So I guess do you know what? That's 3. This will be the 3rd. If she does, I feel as if she might dispatch Doris, so there's Doris somewhere involved in that, but that 10 of Swords is a betrayal. Is that Newsom? Is that Newsom? Okay, something to do with family, something to do with someone really close. Whatever she does, she's going to backfire. It's going to completely backfire on her. She's worried, though. She's worried about doing anything because she doesn't want to be embarrassed again. I feel like she was embarrassed a bit by the LA fire stuff. Not so much Uvalde. That Prince of Wands and one surrounding her, that's very fire. That's very angry. I don't believe, right, I feel like she's an arc. I don't feel like she's got a moral compass other than going what she thinks is the trendy thing to follow, you know? I feel like she would sympathize with the protesters. I don't know everything that's going on. Like I say, I've not been watching the news, to be honest with you. I haven't been absorbing that kind of content. So that Prince of Wands in reverse, that could be her aware and potentially coming out on the side of the protesters, the side of the rioters. I don't know. I mean, okay. I don't know the ins and outs of it, guys. So Harry's going to do something stupid. And there's a 7 of Swords there. She's going to take something. Take something that's not hers. This could be a story. This could be a moment from these fires. But she's going to try and like do this kind of like self-sacrificey, like, oh, I self-sacrificed this because I'm so good. And that could be like what, a bag of donuts to the fire department, you know, turning up to annoy some police officers trying to do their work. I don't know, going on the side of the protesters with a little bandana over her face and whatever. You know, I don't think she'd do that. But, you know, it's always possible. Megs is a lunatic. The 7 of Swords there, though, she's got, like I say, she's got oppositional defiance disorder. Now, I know that somebody did point out to me that I'm not a psychologist. In my mind, she's got oppositional defiance disorder, in my opinion. But that usually tapers off at, well, you're a child, you know, before you hit 21, it tends to go. But I feel like she's got arrested development from 11. Around there, like she's stuck there for some reason, and I don't know, something must have happened, I don't know, but she is very, yeah, I feel like she's going to go for it. We are going to have a look now and see how Harry's coping with the LA riots. You know, he's big on safety, isn't he? He loves his safety, and you'd think that those big riots would be upsetting for him. So let's have a look. We're just going to pull the sassy cards for this because we're getting on a bit. Let's have a look. First sassy card for Harry. The alien. Okay. He feels out of place. This is a bit triggering for him as well. He's an alien in a foreign land, really, but he's not an alien. He speaks the same language. He does all the same things. He's from a very similar culture, Britain to America. It's similar in so many ways, very different in other ways, like free speech and stuff, but it's very different. You know, it's a very interesting crossover. So he's feeling very out of it. He's very self-conscious that I feel like if it's the ice, there's something to do with the deportations. Yeah, so I feel like there's definitely something going on there with him there. The magician, he thinks he's got some tricks up his sleeve. He thinks he can finesse his way out of it. It's triggered him about his visa stuff, his right to remain. Let's put it that way. And the passport is in reverse. He doesn't want to travel. Quite a few people, you know, like I've seen it in the news over here. Like I think there was a couple of girls from Germany who entered the US through Mexico, and they ended up in a they didn't get in, they got deported. And they were 2 weeks in there, and there was some from the UK. So if Harry thinks that he's immune from it, he really isn't. He really isn't. It can happen to anyone and anything, even allied countries. It can happen to. So that passport in reverse, if he leaves the USA, he might be starting to get a bit paranoid about getting back into the USA. He thinks he's got some tricks in his bag, though. Let's have a look what this is. Weed. Okay. He is making himself increasingly paranoid. Some people can smoke weed for days, yeah, and they're not paranoid or whatever. Harry already was paranoid. I always has been paranoid, and I don't think this self-medication helps him. It might help him during it, but after it, like once he has leveled out and welcome back to beige terra firma, where he lives, I don't feel like he's going to have a real grasp on stuff, you know? There is a problem here. It should have been fixable. It should have been doable. It's an easy fix, but it's just there. Like with the Megxit stuff, it's just there. Like a bump in the road. It can only get bigger and more messy. So there's something about his visa and things. He's full of shit, guys. He's absolutely... He's going to have people around him who are repping for him, who will say absolutely anything because they're on a payroll, they're getting paid to do it. And this guy, if he's not stoned, then the guy is on stimulants like caffeine and other things. Like a lot, like too much. So he's kind of on uppers and downers, like in a self-medicating kind of way. Yeah, he's bothered by this, but he's not so much bothered by what's going on. And he might come out and say like, oh, the people and blah, blah, blah. He might try it, but I don't believe that. He's more bothered about how this reflects onto him and his personal situation and his visa. Megsy really is tamping at the bit to say something, but people are trying to stop her. And Doris looks like she might be coming in from left field as well. We shall see what happens. We shall see what happens. Anyway, guys, I will be live tomorrow night on full moon night on June 11th at 8:20 p.m. UK time. So please join me if you can, or catch up on the replay. And thank you all so much for being here. I do appreciate you taking your time to watch my videos, and subscribe, like, share, all of that YouTubery stuff. I'll see you soon for some more readings. Take care, everyone. Bye, everybody. Bye, 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 bye.